We have Rick Surrency in with us. It's Tuesday morning, so it's school board day.
Good morning, Susan.
How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's a great day. Now
Yes,
the
it
rain
is.
stopped.
Yeah, glad to be here and beautiful weather, except for the rain. I guess we need the rain.
Well, depends on what you're doing. Some
Tell you what.
places need it, some places don't need it.
Well, a couple of weeks ago it was pretty cold, so I would have loved to have this kind of day. Yeah.
The temperatures are good. I'm still not ready to put my jackets up until Easter gets here.
Right.
Those of us that grew up here just don't do that. We know to wait.
I'm not sure what the groundhog did, but
Groundhog said 6 weeks.
okay. Yeah.
But I just don't put anything away till after Easter. And Easter's early. It's actually April 1st.
I remember years ago we had a hard freeze in the middle of March.
Uh-huh.
And wiped out a bunch of
Wiped out
citrus
everything,
trees.
and that was probably a year that Easter hit, it usually hits mid-April.
Right.
I've seen it as early as the 26th of March.
Well, when you live in Florida, you got hurricanes and freezes and mosquitoes and all that, so anything can happen.
The no-see-ums.
Right.
I hate the no-see-ums.
Yeah, and the blind mosquitoes on the river. And
oh yeah. We have a bug for every season.
all these people that buy the beautiful property on the river, they buy it when the blind mosquitoes
are
aren't
not
out.
here. And see, my thing, if you want to buy property in Florida, do it right after a hurricane. Go look and see how wet it is.
Yeah, see where the flood zones
Where
are.
the flood zones are, where the true flood zones are.
Absolutely.
So, tell me what's going on in the schools.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a lot of good news with a lot of our athletic teams. I don't know if you've been keeping it up in the paper, but our Crescent City soccer team, I believe they're like one win away from the Final Four, and doing some great things down there. Of course, the Palatka High School boys basketball team is having another stellar year.
Yeah, I've had a listener keeping me up on that one.
And then Interlaken High's boys basketball team had first 20-win season in about 20 years.
I was going to say, as long as I remember.
Right. Also, this is one you don't hear a lot about, but the Palatka High robotics team. Have you ever heard of such a
Yes,
thing?
I do know that there is one.
Yeah, the Robo Panthers actually competed at the state level, I believe, last week, and actually saw a demonstration of them, the Palatka High robotics team and the Interlaken High robotics team, and it's really remarkable what these kids can do. I mean, the engineering and at that level, I mean, they have a competition where they build robots, and these robots perform certain functions. But these are kids that we're training now.
It's scary.
For jobs that don't even exist yet, and I'm really proud of that. We're going to honor the Robo Panthers today, but at our next school board meeting. We always like to honor teams who have competed at the state level, so we'll get to hear more about that at the next school board meeting.
All right.
Yeah. Another little announcement. Last night I went to Palatka High. They had a meeting for students that are interested in the collegiate high school program. And just to let you know what that is again, we started that last year. That's a partnership with us, with Putnam County School District and St. Johns River State College, where kids can actually start going to college as freshmen in high school. And they continue to take dual enrollment classes, and by the time they're seniors,
They're finished.
well, they can actually earn their AA at the same time they graduate.
See, we've had dual enrollment for the same time, but you had to be, a junior to do that? So
Yeah, sophomore.
Junior, and so this starts you earlier. I hope my granddaughter was at that meeting, but I don't know.
Well, if you as students, you have to be at the meeting last night and tonight. Now, tonight they're meeting at Interlaken High School at 6 o'clock in their media center. So if you missed last night, you can make it up tonight.
Well, I think she was worried about interfering in her social activities if she did that. She's my social butterfly.
But parents, you should have been notified if your students qualify for that program. And I tell you, it is a money saver. I mean, think of what you can save.
Even if you have prepaid college, still it's such a money saver. And if you have prepaid college and they do this, that gives you the extra money when they want to go get that master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want some continuing education after that. This is by far the way to do it. And if they don't want to go to college, they just want that AA or AA, and then go into
There's AS degrees too.
Yeah, the AS. But if they want just that degree and then go on to a technical,
Mm-hmm.
get it while you're in school so you can just swing right on into that technical.
Yeah, it doesn't lock you into a certain
No, it
program.
doesn't into a career field.
But getting those first 2 years out of the way at no cost,
Oh yeah.
man, you can't beat that.
Now, and St. John's credits are recognized, all over the country.
Now, this is part of our entire expansion of our acceleration programs
Right.
that we call that. We have the Collegiate High School at Palaca High, Interlaken High, and we've expanded the Cambridge program to Crescent City High School, as well as Q.I. Roberts Junior Senior High School. So,
And yeah, and just because you graduate with honors doesn't mean that if you really don't want to go to college and want to go into technical schools, you can. We had one last year that walked with honors, and I know that he went to technical school.
oh yeah, technical school.
Wanted to go into electrical work.
Right, and we have a big push for that. Actually, last week I went down to Pinellas County and visited some of their high schools where they have what they call career academies, where you can actually earn certifications while you're in high school. And when you leave high school, you can actually go to work for somebody right off the bat.
Because you already got that certification.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's in a number of different fields. So a lot of good things happening in Putnam County.
A lot of great things, and we need all that education so that we can bring better jobs into this county.
And a good measurement stick of that is, I've talked about a lot, is our improvement in our graduation rate. And that's just a sign that we're engaging kids in school, and they're staying in school, and
giving them something they enjoy doing, and
Right.
they like, and they're interested in, keeps them in school.
right, because kids don't see a purpose, and they don't see something meeting their needs, then we're going to lose them, and we're going to lose them early. So we try to engage them in ninth grade. That's a real pivotal year. So we can't wait till they're later in high school. We have to engage them now. So, and I talked about sports a minute ago. When kids go to high school or middle school, they need to be involved in things outside of the classroom too.
Oh yeah, well, you know me, I'm a firm believer in sports, bands, and if you don't think band's a sport, you ought to go out and march with those kids.
Yeah.
Any of those extra activities, I can't talk today, are good for the soul and good for the body and good for the mind.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to our arts program. As you know, we talk about Mr. Pignato's musical theater program, and they have, I believe they're getting ready for another production this spring. But actually, we have started at the middle school level. Jenkins Middle School is actually performing this week. They have a play, and I can't think of the name of the play right now. Forgive me, Miss Guy, but
Well, maybe she'll send us something on it, because I don't think we have anything on it.
well, Friday night at Jim Pignato Theater, they are having a major production that Jenkins is putting on. So, they're also doing it during the day for a lot of the schools, elementary schools, but Friday night, make sure you come out. I'm sure you can buy tickets at the door, and that's an annual event that Jenkins Middle School puts on.
Well, we have, great drama classes, Interlochen used to, and I guess they still have a great jazz band that was just unreal out there. Crescent City, I always thought about Interlochen with the band, the jazz band, and Palatka with the drama, and Crescent City with the art.
Right.
Seemed to, for some reason, it kind of worked that way for a long time. I don't know if it's still that way. But Crescent City has done some fantastic artworks, and the Olivia Lay auction every year, I think they brought artwork up to be auctioned off. I think they made stools a couple of years and different things like that. But it's amazing the talent that we have out in this county.
Actually, last week or 2 weeks ago, I went to an art auction at Price Middle School, and they were doing a silent auction to raise money to send kids to Washington.
I wish we got more information about middle school activities. We don't get much.
I'll make sure I'll talk to our people and make sure they send that to you.
We don't get a whole lot of that, because they do a lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
And the kids going to Washington every year is very expensive, but it's such an education for them that we need to do all we can do to help support those programs to get them there.
Absolutely. That's a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and I think my son went once or twice, and, it's just something you need to do to really have an appreciation for our country.
Yeah, to do it and to understand it all. My grandkids went, my boys didn't go. I think it hit a sporting event season that they didn't want to give up.
Especially in the springtime.
Yeah,
That's a busy
there's
time.
baseball. Baseball was ruled at my house during the spring. So, anything else we got?
Right off the bat, it's just going to be another busy week. We're approaching testing time in our district, and that's always kind of an anxious time for everyone. But, teachers are in the classroom teaching hard. We're encouraging kids to make sure they come to school, come on time. And, we're not stopping just because we're giving tests. We're teaching, steady teaching. And, kids are learning, and,
Well,
that's what it's all about.
I didn't realize it until the other day, and I was fussing about a bus dropping kids off right at my house after dark. And I had a listener call, and they said, I lay off that was the tutoring kids. that they get extra tutoring and then they take them home.
21st century.
Yeah, and that's, I didn't know about that program.
Yeah.
So, because I just was because they look like middle school kids. Here they are getting a bus and it's after dark.
Well,
So,
that's a grant we actually received early in the year, $3 million grant, where we provide after-school tutoring and events and
I
transportation.
think it's a great program.
Yeah, and hey, that's how kids get ahead or get caught up, is have that extra.
Some kids just need that little bit of extra.
Mm-hmm.
And if parents can't get them to and from, this is a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate the people willing to serve after school to help our kids, because a lot of times during the school day, they just need that extra.
Yeah, they just need that extra 20 minutes that they can't get in class.
Yep.
Or in that class, or they just need one-on-one for a little bit.
Too bad they didn't have that when you and I were in school.
Oh,
right?
I needed it. Of course, I'd have cut out. It was fun being the youngest, and with a car, I wasn't in school half the time. But see, I'd taken all my academics. I had to take one class to graduate.
So now you're confessing, right?
Well, and I admitted it then, but I had to have I think an English class to graduate. I already had everything else, all my credits. I had to go to school for it, so I had, I took hall monitoring. I took, I took all the good classes my senior year.
That senioritis.
Senioritis. So
Yeah.
I was out of school, in the middle of the day most days.
Yeah. Well, that's why with the collegiate high school,
Yeah.
Kids who go through that program will actually be on the campus of St. John's
And
River
see, I
State.
think that's great. We didn't have that opportunity.
Right.
That's back when St. John's was only in Palatka.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister was actually going down here in '67, and they had 6 girls to a room in the dorms.
Wow.
So it was cram packed out there. So now that they have 3 campuses, I guess just 3, I don't think any more than that, but 3 campuses, Orange Park, St. John's, and here, they spread that out. But we, it was an opportunity I would love to have had.
Well, we want to support our local college.
Yes.
And why not give kids an opportunity to go to college while they're staying at home? Because
That's
the biggest
exactly
cost, like you say, is staying in a
They
dorm.
staying in a dorm, staying in an apartment. Boys went to college. My boys went to college on baseball scholarships, but I still had to pay all their living expenses.
Mm-hmm.
That gets expensive.
Yep.
So
if you can save that whatever scholarship money you have left over,
and then you can apply it to some of that stuff.
and send them to a 4-year school afterwards.
Way to do it.
Good way to spend your money. So.
All right, we appreciate you coming in.
Good seeing you, Susan.
You have a great day. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye.